Good evening. This is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. My tablet keeps shutting me off, and I don't know what's going on or why, but it is. And it's probably a good thing because in one of the videos I got a little bit upset, and I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. So we'll start over again. To remove seeds from squash or pumpkin, use an ice cream scoop. The sharp edges of the scoop will cut through the gooey, fibrous stuff easier than if you use your hand or a spoon. To make a rich color of your gravy, use a pinch of sugar. The sugar will caramelize and give it a rich brown color. Or go ahead and cheat and use kitchen bouquet. Brown sugar can become hard as a brick. If needed right away, place in the microwave for a minute or two to soften, and you will usually be able to get enough brown sugar from the edges in order to make your recipe, but it won't soften at all. To get it softened, add a slice of bread to it, and to keep it from getting hard, store a slice of bread in it. When the bread gets hard, take the bread out and put another slice in. That way your bread will get hard, but the brown sugar won't, and you won't have that problem again. When measuring brown sugar, pack it into the cup. That means pack it. You don't just put your spoon in and level it off. You pack it. Make sure it's in there. Make sure your cup is full. Roll a lemon or an orange on the countertop with the palm of your hand. They will give more juice if warm and soft. If just taking it from the refrigerator, put them in hot water for a minute or two and then roll them with your palm of your hand, and they will also give more juice. Add a few drops of oil to rice before cooking to prevent it from becoming sticky. When making a fruit salad, put your apples and bananas in a bowl first, with the rest of the fruit on top to prevent browning. Sprinkle with a spoon or two of sugar and honey. Chill in the refrigerator until you serve it, and then toss it. Use dental floss instead of a knife to cut a cake or hard cheeses. If sauce or curry is too spicy, add some potatoes or some cream or tomato sauce or coconut milk to balance it out. Let your potatoes, when you're doing fries, sit in cool water for about 30 minutes before frying, or quickly blanch them, which means put them in hot water, then in ice water. It removes the starch and helps keep the fries crispy. Do not store tomatoes in the refrigerator. And I don't know how many times I've told people not to store their tomatoes in the refrigerator. We have them over at dinner. Somebody brings them in, we eat them. And then those that are left are stuck in the refrigerator. And I tell them, no, leave them out. But they still stick them in the refrigerator. They will turn mealy and they will change your flavor profile. They change the taste completely. Will last much longer outside the refrigerator than they will inside the refrigerator. Roast your tomatoes at 425 degrees. The sugar inside the tomatoes will caramelize and create a huge depth of flavor. On my tomatoes, I will usually use cherry tomatoes. And I will sprinkle them toss them with olive oil and roast them. Or I will toss them with olive oil and put Italian seasoning on them. That way, in the winter, when I'm making tomato sauce, all I have to do is grab one or two of them out of the freezer, throw them in my tomato sauce, and they will give you more flavor. The same with chili. Grab 2 or 3 of them out of your freezer and throw them in your chili. It makes a huge difference. Don't store potatoes or onions together. Potatoes will rot quickly if stored with the onion. And our potatoes are spoiling, rotting fast enough as it is. Season and taste food as you cook. The spices will release the oil when warm and this will allow all the flavors to mix while cooking. Add little salt to vegetables when sauteing it. Will help to release the juice or the moisture of the vegetables. Take a newspaper, wet it using water. Make a ball of it and put it in the middle of the refrigerator. Take out after 6 or 7 hours, and the refrigerator will not smell any longer. When cooking a casserole, cover it to begin with. 15 or 20 minutes before completed cooking, uncover and sprinkle with cheese or breadcrumbs mixed with butter, and return to the oven to complete cooking uncovered. Keep fresh mint leaves in the freezer. They will help remove oil. If you have left your pans overnight without washing them, put 2 tablespoons of vinegar and 4 tablespoons of water in the pan. Bring it to a simmer. Vinegar will cut through the mess in a matter of minutes. Gently add the ice to an already poured beverage to retain more carbonation, and this we're talking about the soda or the pop, not the opposite of adding the ice and then your soda. When making pasta, wait to add the salt until the water begins to boil. Salt water has a higher boiling point, and so it will take longer and use more energy to heat if we add it right away to the water. Use an ice cream scoop to make cookies of the same size or to fill muffin cups. When you have leftover tomato paste, put it in a freezer bag. Flatten the bag and freeze it. It will be ready for the next time when you need only a small amount of tomato paste. When deep fat frying, use a thong to hold each bit of food under the surface of the oil before releasing it. This enables the exterior of the food to be sealed, and it will not stick to the pot, or will not stick to the food. In other words, you don't just drop it in, you make sure it goes under the oil before you release it. Anytime a recipe calls for water, add different liquids for more flavor and nutrients, such as beans, add broth. It says unless making bread, but you can use potato water for bread, or you can use water. Meats cook faster and more evenly if they are flipped often. Flipping the meat repeatedly will result in both sides heating slowly and evenly with the heat, spreading through the meat from both sides to the center. Otherwise, the heating one side intensely while the other side is cold results in uneven cooking, and that is probably the opposite of what most of us have been told. Use a potato peeler to make chocolate peels for garnishing. A falling knife has no handle. Let it fall. Don't try to grab it. When using a box cake mix, add an extra egg. Use milk instead of water, and use twice the melted butter than the oil listed. Another thing you can do is use box cake and use different types of sodas and just mix that in. No eggs, no oil, no nothing. Just mix the soda in with the box cake mix and bake it. Another thing you can add to your box cake mix is coconut milk. And there again, you just add the coconut milk and your box cake mix and you bake it. No oil, no butter, no milk. If something is lacking in flavor and adding salt doesn't fix it, try a splash of lemon, lime, or vinegar. Use the fond of a protein to coat the protein and to make a sauce. Fond is the dark brown residue that sticks to the bottom of the pan while cooking. If it's not burned unless it is black. Use alcohol or acid to dissolve the fond and then use to coat the protein. Dry white wine for chicken and lighter meats, red wine for beef, lemon juice for almost anything. That was called deglazing the pan, okay? Add notes to your cookbook if you use substitutions or needed adjustments on time. Then it will be there for the next time you make the recipe, and don't plan on using your memory because over time that just kind of slips away. If it grows together, it goes together. For example, tropical fruit plus tropical fish. Italian, Roma tomatoes, oregano, and Italian parsley. Simple rule to follow. Mustard is a secret ingredient to many dishes. Use only a little. Potato salad, chicken salad, mac and cheese. Just add a little, not much. Use mushroom seasoning instead of salt. I will use mushroom powder that I've made by cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, clove, apple pie, pumpkin pie spice in August or September. If you wait until time for the holiday baking, the shelves may be bare and they're not to be found. And with our supply problems and with our shortages, it's probably a good idea to buy any and all spices you will need during this next year. Some food items cook better when they're room temperature. Eggs and meat. But that doesn't mean you have to leave them out overnight on the counter or on the counter for several hours. Just put in a plastic bag and put in lukewarm water for 15 minutes or so before you cook. Don't put them out on your counter because that's how the bacteria grows. Okay, poor man casserole. 1 pound ground meat, either beef or turkey, and I've been using turkey more than beef because it's about half the price of ground beef. And turkey will take on the flavor of the ingredients in the dish. Garlic to taste. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 cans of tomato sauce, 8 ounces of egg noodles, 8 ounces of sour cream, 8 ounces of cream cheese that's been softened, 1 and 1/2 cups of cheddar cheese shredded. This is not a recipe that you'll probably be able to bring a cook out of your pantry. You got the cream cheese here, you got the sour cream, and on a budget, and with budget cooking, it's not a poor man's casserole. Okay, not a poor man's casserole to me, but I love it. So okay, preheat oven to 350 degrees. Cook your ground meat. Drain excess grease if necessary. Add the garlic, salt, sugar, and tomato juice. Cover and simmer for 15 minutes. Cook your noodles according to package directions and drain. Mix your sour cream and cream cheese together in a small bowl. Then you layer in orders: noodles, sour cream mixture, meat. Repeat the layer. Sprinkle cheese over the top of everything. Bake at 350 degrees for 20 minutes or until the cheese has melted. Spanish poor man potatoes. 3 medium potatoes scrubbed. 1 green pepper strips. 1 red pepper, bell pepper in strips. 2 small onions thinly sliced. 6 garlic cloves whole. 1/2 cup of olive oil, and salt and pepper, parsley for garnish. Cut your potatoes in rounds that are 1/4 inch thick. Cut each slice into 4 even-sized quarters. Put the potatoes in a saucepan. Fill the saucepan with water. Bring to a boil. 10 minutes after turning on the heat, high temperature. Potatoes should be partially cooked. Remove from heat. Drain and rinse with cold water. In a large, deep skillet, place the olive oil. Add onions and garlic. Cook until the onions are transparent. Add your red and green pepper strips. Anyway, whatever it is. Cook until tender. Add your potatoes and mix until the potatoes are coated with olive oil. Cook until the potatoes are tender and golden brown. Transfer to a serving dish, and garnish with fresh parsley. That's an old recipe. And it's called Spanish poor man's potatoes. Potatoes and beans. 2 potatoes, 1 can of baked beans. Scrub the potatoes, put in cold water. Bring the water to a boil. Cook the potatoes until partially cooked. Slice your potatoes. Don't peel them during this time, slice them with the peeler. Place in a frying pan with bacon grease. Cook until tender. Add the baked beans. Heat until everything is heated through. This is a Depression-era recipe. Copycat Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole. 2 pounds of frozen hash browns. I've got a hash brown recipe, hash brown casserole recipe, but it gets quite complicated. It's quite expensive, so this is a good one to substitute. 2 pounds frozen hash browns. 1½ cup buttered or margarine melted. 1 can cream of chicken soup. 1/2 onion chopped. 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Spray a 11 by 14 baking dish with non-stick spray. Mix all your ingredients. Place in the baking dish. Bake for 45 minutes or until brown on top. Paula Deen's chicken casserole. 3 tablespoons butter. 2 garlic cloves minced. 4 cups of pasta cooked. That would be 2 cups of uncooked pasta. 2 cups of chicken cooked and cut into small pieces. Or how about a can of chicken? 2 tablespoons of flour. 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. 1/2 cup of sour cream. 1 cup of milk. 1 small onion chopped. Salt and pepper to taste. And 3 cups of cheese, shredded, divided, and it's your choice. Add the butter to a large skillet. Melt the butter. Add the onions and garlic slightly to caramelize. Watch closely so the garlic does not burn. Add the flour. Stir and cook raw taste out of the flour about 1 minute. Add the sour cream and the milk. Cook and stir until the mixture has thickened. Add 2½ cups of shredded cheese and cook and stir until well blended. Add the pasta, chicken, red pepper flakes, salt and pepper. Mix well. Put all in a prepared casserole dish. Spread evenly. Sprinkle 1/2 cup of cheese over all. Bake in an oven preheated to 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes or until the cheese has completely melted. My last one here. Depression era 1930s 6-layer dinner. 2 cups of raw sliced potatoes. 2 cups of chopped celery. 1 pound of raw hamburger. 1 cup of raw onion. 1 cup finely cut green pepper. 2 cups of canned tomatoes. 2 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Layer the potatoes in a greased, shallow baking dish, a 9 by 13. Sprinkle with salt and pepper. Add celery, hamburger, onions, pepper, and canned tomatoes in layers, and salt and pepper. Be careful you don't salt too much, because it says after each layer, but you may get a little bit too much salt in there, okay? We can always add salt, but we sure can't take it away. Bake at 350 degrees for 2 hours or until the potatoes are tender. You notice during most of the Depression era recipes, they used potatoes and they used eggs. And those are two things that are in short supply here. So if you find your potatoes at a decent price, buy them, dehydrate them, can them, freeze them, do something with them so you have them available. I can them, and I also dehydrate them, so I have plenty of potatoes. Oh, if nothing else, go to the store and buy some cans of potatoes. Eggs, too. If you find a good deal on eggs, or take the eggs from Walmart. And yes, I know it's all expensive, but they're going to get even more expensive. Get them, dehydrate them, freeze them, and get another batch. We want as many as we can get. Store it up to last us for the next, they were saying 3 months. Then they were saying a year. Now they're saying 2 years. And some people are saying 3 years. So we've got a lot of food to store up. And we haven't got much time to do it anymore. So get what you can to put away. Even if you can only get 5 or 6 cans each time, or 5 or 6 pounds of meat, or 5 or 6, or the 1 package of the eggs, 1 pound of potatoes. Get them, freeze them, process them somehow, so you have them for later on. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. We'll skip that for a while. Okay, I'm just telling you the way it is, and eggs are hard to come by. They're still a cheap protein because 1 egg will give you a lot of protein. But you can dehydrate, but you need them for baking, or at least I do. And so I'm freezing them. I buy 5 dozen eggs every month, and I have for years. And whatever I didn't use before, we just made a couple meals of scrambled eggs, or eggs and pancakes, or something like that, since we've had all these supply problems. I still get my 5 dozen eggs, and yes, they're going up in price, and I want to back off, but I don't want to because I do a lot of baking. I do a lot of cooking, and eggs are a basic ingredient. You need eggs, so I use my eggs, but I also freeze and I dehydrate them. I dehydrate a lot. I only got 1 tray that can be that I can use in my dehydrators. I know I can't afford anymore. If I was able to afford more, I'd go get them. So I can only do 5 eggs at a time. But 5 eggs plus 5 eggs plus 5 eggs, it adds up after a while. Then you powder them really, really good. Make sure they're dried. And you can use them just like you do the eggs that you can get on Amazon, which are costing right now, I checked the price just before I did this, $155 for a can of eggs. I mean, come on, people. No, that's not right. That's all I'm going to say about that one, too, okay? In my opinion, these big corporations, and it doesn't matter which one or who they are jacking up the prices. They are price gouging us. They have been for about 2 years. They're making more profits now than they did before in 2019. So that means those prices are money is going right into their pockets. And they don't care about us poor people here. So stock up on your eggs, stock up on your pasta, stock up on your wheat, stock up on all that stuff. I don't have a grocery. Don't make a grocery run without getting flour or sugar. I can use them all the time. And then their food saved, okay? Those are my two basics. I will gather whatever meat is on sale, if it is a decent price, and I will can it. So, farmer's market now, since I live in an apartment and my apartment faces the north, not much we can grow that way. So, yes, I grow some inside. I'm going to get myself somebody said a shop light. So we get a shop light and see what happens if we can grow something. I grow sprouts. I grow microgreen. That stuff all helps, but it's not going to feed me in the long term. So I go to farmers markets and I get anything and everything I can. And it's canned or it's dehydrated or it's frozen. It's preserved in some way. So I think I'll quit now. You've heard my rant for the day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later. God bless you.